Greetings, YouTube world. It's another episode of the Carolina Sports Guy. Today, I'm doing my first mukbang while talking about my beloved Carolina Panthers. And what better way, because I'm a food lover, and talking about something to eat, fast food, we got Burger King. And, thing I love to hate, the Atlanta Falcons. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, please hit like, leave some comments, and please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Here we go with another episode of the Carolina Sports Guy. Friends and cohorts out there in YouTube world, this episode of the Carolina Sports Guy, I kind of wanted to mix things up a little different this time. Carolina Panthers, when you start talking about hated rivalries, if we really have a rivalry, 27, 28 years of playing football, the Atlanta Falcons and New Orleans Saints, to a lesser extent, but also the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, being in the same division as we are now, and pretty much have been from the beginning, except for Tampa Bay, which came later on when they reshuffled the divisions. So the two big teams the Carolina Panthers do not like, the New Orleans Saints, and the one I'm going to focus on today, the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I wanted to kind of mix up some food and do a mukbang. I'm sure everybody out there knows what a mukbang is. I kind of wanted to go with something and talk about it as well. I'm a big Burger King fan. A lot of people in my family aren't big Burger King fans. And I'm getting today the classic chicken sandwich. As you can see, it's the classic. No, it doesn't have the rave that Popeye's chicken sandwich does. Probably not as good as Wendy's. Even these new McDonald's chicken sandwiches are probably better. Burger King even has a rounded chicken sandwich. This is a long sub bun classic chicken sandwich. And folks, I know maybe I'm in one of the rare rarities of people. I prefer this chicken sandwich over any other. It's a basic chicken sandwich, and I love it. I also got some fries from Burger King, and I'm going to prepare my fries a different kind of way today. I'm going to put my fries in the bag, and I'm going to pour about a half a dozen ketchups in the bag. Now, I know if you're here to tune in to talk about the Falcons and the hatred I have for them, and if you're a Falcon fan, that's fine too. You can hate the Panthers. Nothing wrong with that. Carolina-Atlanta rivalry, not just in football. We have it in other sports as well. One thing I want to look at, though, and talk about today, it's kind of the rivalry I had. I know Atlanta fans are going to say, hey, it hasn't really been a rivalry, because in the 26-year history of this rivalry, a rivalry would be, playing each other 52 times would be 26 to 26. But this rivalry is 33 games for Atlanta and 19 for my beloved Panthers. Atlanta has beaten us far more than any other team. Now, shaking this bag up with the ketchup. I know it's a little annoying. My wife hates when I do this. If we go out to eat Burger King, she hates it. She's kind of used to it by now. But what we get is a gooey mess. And I really only do this, I'm sure you can do it at other restaurants, I only do this at Burger King. And there's a reason why. I go back years ago, I was in a trade school in Virginia, and I had a good friend from New York, and went to school together, was in the Navy, and he basically go out about twice a week after class, and we normally would end up and go to Burger King. And he was a big Jets fan, by the way. The fries, if I could get you to look at them here in this bag, they're really, really greasy. Gooey. I don't know if you can pick up on that. But Burger King used to have some terrible fries. Terrible. And one way to get around this, my friend Louis Rodriguez told me, put the French fries in the bag, throw 4, 5, 6 ketchups in the bag, mix them up real good, shake it up if you want, salt, whatever. Tear the bag open. They're greasy, they're slimy, but it's got a good flavor. And he's right. If you haven't tried it, please do, especially if you're not a big fan of Burger King fries. Like McDonald's, a lot of people love McDonald's fries. Other places have good fries. I prefer a Burger King chicken sandwich or a Whopper. I love a good Whopper, and I just love the flavor of Burger King. But let's get into this mukbang as we're eating here and talk about this Panthers-Falcons rivalry. It has been an uneven rivalry over the years. Should have known it was really going to be some bad blood in this rivalry starting way back September 3rd, September 3rd, 1995. The very first game the Panthers ever played was in Atlanta. I believe it was at the old Georgia Dome. And that game, Carolina surprised me. Come out strong, had a lead. Late in that game, we were down ready to take the lead. And we had an offensive lineman who had a false start. And I think Frank Reich was the opening quarterback that day, who's the coach of the Colts now, used to play for Buffalo. And we ended up going 20-20, and we took it to overtime, and Atlanta won. And it took us 4, 5, 6 games before Carolina finally got their first win, which, by the way, Sam Mills scored an interception, or I guess it was an interception, kind of like a fumble interception for a touchdown at Clemson Stadium in South Carolina before our stadium was built the next year when it opened. The first game we won was against the Jets. But we finished 7-9 that year. We finished strong. But in this game against Atlanta, it was a tough knock 'em, sock 'em, robot type of game. 23-20, Atlanta won the first game. Now, a couple of serious facts I want to throw out about here. As I eat these fries, is that Atlanta has 2 5-game win streaks against the Panthers. I say 2 5-game win streaks, yes. We're going back 2010 to 2012. They had a 5-game win streak. 2017 and 19, they also had another 5-game win streak. The biggest win streak the Falcons had against the Panthers from 2000 to 2002. These were like the John Fox years. Really right at the end of George Seifert, John Fox. Atlanta won 6 games in a row. And this is probably the pitiful time. If you take those 3 streaks and were to break it up some kind of way, the rivalry would be closer than 33 games in 19. Now, in saying that, John Fox's first year, I believe, was 2002. A lot of people don't know this, but the Carolina Panthers have only been shut out 3 times in their history. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the last year, could have been the last year of Seifert, but I think it was the last year of Dom Capers in Charlotte. We were shut out by Denver. First time we were ever shut out. We shut out 2 more times, and it happened in the same season. It was under John Fox's rookie coaching campaign with the Panthers. Who shut the Panthers out? You guessed it, Atlanta. And not just once, both times. And it was 2002. So we're talking about almost 20 years. We're talking about going into 19 years of football since the Panthers have been shut out. And Atlanta beat Carolina 30-0, and then turn around and beat Carolina 41-0 in the same year. And you kind of forgive John Fox. You know, Atlanta really had our number during this period of time. It gave them 6 wins in a row in the series. And Fox will get the team. He'll get them ready to go. Now, as far as Carolina goes, the longest winning streak the Panthers have ever had in history against Atlanta, that's a 3-game streak, and that was 2012 to 2013. And you kind of go back and look at that. This is going to be during the Ron Rivera years. Atlanta was a tough out, and you know, it's the way it goes. All right, looking at this, the one time, and I don't know how many times Atlanta's been shut out in their history. I didn't look that up. But I do know that we have shut Atlanta out one time. And it was in the 2015 Super Bowl year. We played Atlanta and Charlotte, and we beat them 38-0. And it was a glorious day. Dan Quinn looked like he was whimpering on the sidelines. Sad thing is, we ended up turning around and had to play him 2 or 3 weeks later And that's the one loss we had, 20-13. I go back and look at that game, and in that game is my favorite play Cam Newton ever had for the Panthers. Even though we lost the game, he ran. We needed like 2 or 3 yards for a first down. I believe it was 2 or 3. It could have been 5 yards, but he ended up dragging about 7 Atlanta defenders 8 yards for a first down. And I jumped out of my seat and I said, that's a man right there. To me, that was the greatest play I'd ever seen a player probably make in a losing effort. He took a sack early in the game and missed out on a field goal attempt because Julio caught this circus catch, which was holding on the play from Matt Ryan. The offensive line were holding, and Kuechly goes up with the safety. I can't remember his name at this time, but they kind of get crossed, and Julio Jones makes an acrobatic catch, gets into the end zone, and we just never had a flow in that game. And I think it was 2 days after Christmas. We were already 14-0. We took a loss. I hate the fact because it did ruin our perfect season. But such is life. Now, also look at some of the hardships the Panthers have had. Michael Vick, quarterback for Atlanta. I mean, I'm well aware of Vick because he kind of grew up where I live in North Carolina, a little over an hour from here in Virginia, and went to Virginia Tech. 2001 to 2006, and Vick was a terror. If anybody remembers how Michael Vick was, I hated playing him. I dreaded him. He didn't just have an arm. He had a way of running and scrambling like no other quarterback. And he was a problem. He was a serious problem. But you go back and look in the history of this, one of the biggest drafts everybody whiffed on was not drafting Aaron Rodgers. I want to say that was 2005. I was in the sports zone in Washington, D.C., Washington draft. He was sitting in thought he should have went number 1. A lot of teams didn't draft him as he fell on the board because they couldn't afford the quarterback they had. We had just had Jake Delhomme, a huge contract, or not the biggest, but he had a contract. We didn't want to pay another rookie. It would have been the smart thing to do. But the one person we picked, and I don't regret it, was Thomas Davis. TD had a fabulous career with the Panthers from 2005 to 2018. Of course, he just retired with the football team in Washington. 2020, had his jersey retired, put in the Hall of Fame, Carolina Panther Stadium. Him and Greg Olson over the summer here. I say summer, over the winter. But Thomas Davis was brought in because he was like a tweener between a linebacker and a safety. And bringing him in, he definitely was converted from the safety to the linebacker. He even had his number changed back and forth from the 40s to the 50s. He was mainly brought in to spy on Michael Vick. And, of course, after TD got here to do his job and he got on the field pretty much as an every down player, Michael Vick got into his legal troubles with the dog incidents. We all know this. But Thomas Davis went on to have an illustrious career with the Panthers. I've kind of got back and looking at the history with this team. I just don't like Atlanta. And when Cam got here, and he's from Atlanta, and we were doing well, one of the things that I noticed and I hated about Atlanta, we started competing pretty well. I believe it was Cam's second year, Luke's rookie year, and we had Atlanta on the ropes, and we actually took a lead in that game by a point late. We had Atlanta pinned like on a 1 or 2 yard line, and they threw like a Hail Mary, holding on to play again, but Matt Ryan completes the pass down the field at about the 40, or the Panthers 40, before the clock ran out, and he's screaming at the guys, "Get the F off our field!" We never forgot about that. And I remember Greg Hardy and a couple of Carolina Panther defensive linemen really let him have it when we had to play him again. And just couldn't stand Matt Ryan. To this day, he's still a thorn in the Panther side. But on that play, when he got him down 39-38, he got his kicker in range, and the kicker made a kick at the buzzer as time expired, and they won 30-28. But man, just going on and on, I could go on about this rivalry, and I think I'll probably make more than one video about my hatred and the rivalry that we have with the Atlanta Falcons. But I kind of wanted to have this Burger King mukbang, eating this original chicken sandwich, talking about things I love to talk about. I love food. I love Burger King. Normally I get a Whopper. I do like the chicken sandwich. And I do prefer these fries to be juiced up with this ketchup. And saying all this, there's nothing better than eating a meal you like, sitting down, watching a team you love. And there's been many a time, whether it be a fast food meal, a nice restaurant, or just sitting down cooking out, and watch many a Panther games against Atlanta. I do have a lot of respect for the fans there and the players who play for them. But when the game is on, I hate Atlanta. I hate Matt Ryan. I hate Julio Jones. I hate their fans. Rise up, I say, sit your ass down. Anyway, this is going to wrap up this episode. If you like to see more episodes of me doing a mukbang, maybe I'll do one with the Saints, or I'll do one with the Hurricanes and the Washington Capitals, or we'll do one with the Hornets, and if we can find a rivalry for them. But in the meantime, I would like you to subscribe to the Carolina Sports Guy. Give me a thumbs up. Hit that bell icon to be notified of more videos like this. Leave some comments below, and we'll see you next time on the Carolina Sports Guy.